says he's getting killed, and Paulie says, no, he's getting mad. You know, how close does that come? Just when you think you're down, all you guys are doing is storing up, you know, this energy and emotion, and then all of a sudden things happen.
I mean, it's good and it isn't. I mean, I don't necessarily want to be behind in football games, as you know. But it's good in a way that, you know, the guys never quit. They're just kind of, I guess, storing things up as the game goes, and you know, finally the switch goes on and you start playing football. But that's obviously not the way we want to draw it up. You know, we'd love to start fast and finish faster, but it is a credit to the guys though for hanging in there in some of these games.
Aren't you due for a good start? Overdue?
I mean, I think we are. You know, you always try to go into every game and try to start fast. Hasn't been that way. Probably going back to the Houston game, probably the when we got off to a quick start there. But yeah, you want to do that, and games like this, everything's on the line. You want to, you don't want to get behind, especially against good teams. It's just not a recipe for success.
How has the changing weather report affected your at least thought going into the game?
It really doesn't. You still got to go play. I mean, you might switch a few things here and there, and maybe some plays you got in your game plan. But other than that, you can't let the weather, affect you. It's the same for them as it is for us, and you just got to go play. I guess the biggest thing would be the ball security issue, making sure you take care of the football.
I know how much you enjoy our stats that we give you. I think the Jaguars have not beaten Kansas City since '09. You guys have broken a lot of streaks. Just any thoughts on that one?
It's a tough place to play. They're a good football team. Crowd is, a great crowd. It's loud. They keep you, kind of pressing the envelope of trying to get the snap off from time to time, and you're trying to stay out of penalties and things of that nature. But tough place to go in there and play, and we understand that, so we've prepared that way, and we'll see what happens.
Doug, are playoffs when quarterbacks really kind of make their reputation, cement their reputation as elite guys?
Well, I think quarterbacks, coaches, we're measured on championships, especially in our league, and Trevor's 1-0 in the postseason, so that's a start. Not where he obviously or myself where we need to be or want to be, but it's a start in the right direction. Just much like this season has been for us, and you just want to be at the end of each year. You want to be in the conversation. You want to have those meaningful games. You want to be playing for the AFC South, giving yourself an opportunity to get in the postseason, and then you got to win postseason games, and that is a measure of quarterbacks, I think, in the league. But ultimately, you have to win the championship to really, take that next step.
When you watch like Brady made it was 8 straight AFC title games, and Mahomes made 4 straight. Do people not fully grasp how hard that is?
I don't think people understand quite how hard that is. And for us that are in it, how appreciative we are of that feat, of what Tom has done, and what the Chiefs have done, and some of these teams that are there every year. I mean, that's a difficult thing, and the amount of playoff games that Tom Brady's been in and played in and won. I mean, it's incredible. It's a couple of seasons worth of games, and and that's what we're striving to do here, and that's what Trevor wants to do is you want to win postseason games and give yourself an opportunity to play in the final game. But we got a good one this weekend.
Well, it kind of ruins it for everybody, right? Because everyone looks at it as like, well, he made like 8 in a row. Look at all that. I mean, it's easy to get there. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what people think. I think that's a narrative that's out there, but those of us that are in it, it's not that easy. Not that easy. And but that's the thing that you love about the postseason. Is you give yourself an opportunity to go compete and see what happens.
They haven't been on the field, obviously, but how have Cam Robinson and DeJuan Smoot sort of helped this team during this, last few weeks?
I mean, they're bouncing in and out, getting their treatment. They're in the in the training room, in the locker room, talking to players. I know guys are talking to them during the week, and just their leadership on anything that they can provide. Some of the young guys and at their position. So it's good to see them. These last couple of weekends. With the games that we've had here, to see them after the game and the excitement and the joy. I just wish those guys were out there with their teammates, competing.
Can you tell how much this run kind of means to some of those guys like that who have been there a while?
It means a lot. It means that, again, we're heading in the right direction. You can see the kind of the joy in their faces, again, for kind of where they've been and where we're headed. And I think that's exciting for everybody, and especially for those guys that have been here and kind of suffered through some lean years. And we're just hoping to, build off of this one and try to continue, the success we've had this year.
You won 4 games on the road this year. This team hadn't won 4 games on the road since 2017. Not sure if they've won 4 games in the last 5 years away from home. What'd you do well? What'd you set up? How did this team grow on the road? Anything stand out to you?
The road can pose a lot of distractions for your football team. The travel, family, friends in the visiting city. You're in a hotel, meeting schedule, all those things. It's just, it's just a matter of just locking in and understanding that we treat it as a business trip. We're going there for business, right? And it's not a vacation. And, as a coach, you try to keep kind of preaching that message to your team that we got to go, you got to take your lunch pail and your briefcase and we're going on a business trip. And the teams that handle the road the best have success later in the season because, again, this time of year, you're going to have to go on the road and win tough, meaningful games. So, again, it was, something that you just kind of, as a coach, you just kind of keep reiterating a lot of points that way, and it's up to the guys to kind of focus in and eliminate what they can eliminate and just focus on their job.
Is it more difficult to win on the road in the playoffs? I mean, obviously the teams are better, but there's more attention from the media, there's fewer games, so there's more people.
There's more things that pull you away from your job, and what you're focused on. And, I think it can be a little bit more of a distraction, especially going on the road. But, for me, it's about keeping everybody together, at the hotel and in the meetings and how we do things and handle things. But I also want the guys to enjoy these times too. They don't come around very often. And anytime you get a chance to play in the postseason, it's a great accomplishment for your guys. So I do want them to also enjoy these opportunities.
Doug, are you at all concerned about how much juice these guys have left? You guys started at the Pro Football Hall of Fame game, the emotional roller coaster of these last 6 weeks, and you're going to play, your 19th football game for a young team?
I mean, maybe that's the reason why they're still going, is they're young. I think we're, the 6th youngest now when you look at all the metrics and everything. We're kind of right there with the Chiefs as far as youth goes. And but sometimes, that's a good thing, because there's a lot of energy with these guys. But, yeah, I mean, look, that's also part of winning, each year, you want to be here again next year, right, and be talking about the same things. And you have to condition yourself. You got to condition your mind, your body, everything to be playing football in January and February. That starts in the off season, and builds through training camp. So, if you're conditioned that way, you don't worry about it as much.
You said it was going to be, initially it was going to be a quick fix. Looking back on it, what did you fix the quickest? What gelled earliest with these guys?
I think it all comes back to trust, just trusting in me, as the head coach. It's not so much the scheme and the plays and all that kind of stuff that was going to come, but I think they had to trust me, as the new head coach, and the faster we could accomplish that goal, then these guys would do anything for you. So that was, to me, the biggest thing and the fastest and quickest thing that I had to accomplish, and they also had to accomplish that at the same time.
On the field, what do they do relatively early that made you happy, you know?
They played hard. They played hard. Yeah, they played hard for 4 quarters. Never quit. You know, I heard multiple times, you know, from fans and people outside the building that a year ago, some of our close games, the team would have shut down. The team, it might have gone in a different direction. Now you lose, instead of you losing by 3, you might lose by 17. And you never saw that with our group, you know, outside of the one Detroit game. You never saw that. And that was the biggest thing that I saw from our team that said, okay, these guys get it, they understand, they're playing together, and we're gonna work through and figure out a way to win more games than lose these games.
What's your process for adding the play late in the season? I think Press was telling us that they added that 4th down play from the Rose Bowl, watching Penn State play, and maybe him and Phil taking another one off Twitter. Do you have to approve everything at this point, or they just throw it in there and you wrap it and see how it looks?
I mean, you know, Press is the offensive coordinator, and he bounces things off of me, and they talk, and you know, there's so much information out there. We can get plays from anywhere, not just off our system, and you know, we're always looking. We see things, you know. My brother will send me stuff. Cousin will send you stuff. You know, an uncle will send you stuff. Your mom will send you stuff. I mean, it's just amazing what comes through. But
You ever use one of Mom's plays?
no, it's a little crazy, But no, but I mean, it's just like that. And then you have to make sure that it works for you, right? Before you put it in your game plan.
Is there anything new though at this point, or is it just, you want to just tweak something different?
I think you can still be creative this time of year. Guys like having creativity. They don't want the same sort of mundane things, which are good. You got to have them, but at the same time, you still want something fresh and unique and different. Because this, again, we're playing a team that we played, you know, 2 months ago, and you know, so we want to have some things that are fresh and new, and they're going to have stuff that's new and some wrinkles in there as well.
Where's the weirdest place you got to play from? The strangest place?
You do get a lot of stuff off of Twitter. People send you those videos and stuff off of Twitter and YouTube and things like that, and a lot of it's just like fan video that might have saw something in a training camp practice, you know, or all that stuff gets posted nowadays. You know, people are. That's the thing about it. Everybody has a microphone and a camera, so. But that's usually the most creative place that we find stuff.
What's anything like stand out as like, oh my God, that is the worst thing I've ever seen? There's zero chance I'm going to put that in.
Well, you got to be careful because the high school and college rules are different formationally than ours, and so you got to be a little bit, you know, careful there because you can't just put a play in and go, wait a second, the tackle's got to be covered up somehow, you know, to be able to run something. But yeah, you look at them, and there's a lot of good ones out there, a lot of creative minds, which is good. All right.